And welcome back. Last time there wasn't that much to be studied because the decks were quite small, but now kicking door in and looking at the gear I got, I'm armed to the teeth. I got stuff. It will be time to get myself go through the goop. Ouch. Landing has not been particularly pleasant. But what can you do? The game started from
The many hold sway here. Even I cannot maintain contact. You are on your own, human. Fear me not.
Alright, that is either for that you could say that quite unsettling matter.
We welcome our biomass. We invite
you to spread yourself out on our warmth.
one of our many will be there to help you before long.
Just notice that the shotgun blasts actually throw out 3 shots instead of one when you shoot with it. I think that would be quite unpleasant surprise to anybody who would be using this shotgun. Going through the slopes is oh shit, and a bug swarm. Yep, I would say this would be quite disturbing location.
One of the flying things dragged me and David here last night. I don't remember much about the trip. I guess I must have blocked it out, half conscious most of the time. I keep remembering the part from Pinocchio, you know, where the old man goes looking for the puppet inside the whale. Except I don't think anyone's coming in here to save me.
Yep. Yeah. If I would have a cup, I could basically scoop those. I could be scooping those worms to myself, but doesn't really matter. Crashes and disasters have made it quite bad shape. And of course, there wouldn't be those chemicals that you needed. So I say that at the end game, I could say the quality of the game design is kind of dropping, not severely, but it is kind of dropping. As in there's alright, there's one of those psionic monsters. Not going there yet. I'm only going through that place if I have to.
Now I'm convinced that this many, as it calls itself, indeed has a centralized nervous system, which means it would have to have some kind of centralized control. To this end, I've gathered as many weapons as I could and stashed them in caches. One of the beasts discovered a cache and apparently mistook it for food. It simply brought it into the quarantine room. The arterial passageways are blocked by some kind of sphincter. I follow the nerves that threaded out of the walls from the blockage. They lead to a pair of nerve clusters. When the passageway is open, the cluster seems to contract. Conversely, I wonder if I was able to destroy both clusters, it would open the blockage permanently. I'm anxious to see the rest of this beast.
And of course, because we are now at the oh, but I can no hassium in here. Yeah, I know that, but I don't have any of the hassium. But let's just go and check out that watery passage. Which had one of those psionic projection things. But with invisibility, I should be able to quite conveniently avoid it. And break myself out from here. Those big lumps of nerve tissue are spooky. You have no interest. Oh, I came from this place. Yeah, these twisting, turning, spinning tunnels, nerve tunnels and clusters are quite, you could say, disorienting. Oh, yeah, I just walked around. But let's just... Oh, and I did go through that place as well. But let's just get my save. And try to head to... yeah, polluted water. Yeah, let's take that. Anti-radiation hypo. Yep, carrying a hazard suit would have been a good idea, but I didn't. But I would say that in this area, the main challenge is mostly in matters of navigation and orienting, finding your... But how would Cyborg Midwife be in here? How, and most like, especially, why? But these creepy crawl tunnels don't... Well, they do lead forward, of course, that is true, but how exactly they lead is quite bizarre. It's a kind of alright, that one I'm gonna just run away. But it does seem that somebody else had also been here. Yep, that farm is out of purpose. But it still kind of puzzles that. But as much as you could say the visual stylings of this area compared to the first System Shock's very technological area and Shodan's hate head towards organic, this one is all completely of the organic kind. Oh, and there's plenty of this researchable stuff. But is there any of that stuff I need or want? Which is to say Hasium. Oh yes, there was. So let's just try to go and return and check was there any of that weird bizarre organic armor thing in here. Well, that might take a little break to look if it was even here. I'm running around and more or less have found myself, well, maybe not yet, but quite much near the end location, so let's just
Hi there. Please make your selection.
another one of these. Yep, but this place being wet and goopy does make sense in the sense that it's organic, and organic stuff needs water as much as human understanding of biology goes. Organic need water, so there being wet stuff is completely, you can say, maybe not. It's completely rational thing to be noticing that. Yep. Place is living. Place has water.
Please make your selection with choosing value wrap.
Yeah, there it fell. Oh damn. Because this place is also this kind of organic mess, navigation might be kind of... Oh, where's the worm? Oh, there's the worm. There was the worm. Oh. This might have been a bit of a dead end then. And map, no data. Absolutely, completely dead, no data at all. Quite understandable why. There's something why this place didn't. There hasn't been many people wandering through this place, and those who have been most likely have not been wound up into very good shape either. So it's a kind of. So of course it would be a bit of maze because you're going through a very twisty, turny guts and bowels of this place. Oh, I wound up here again. Must be truly riveting to see running around in circles like an idiot or maniac. I know difference between those two is quite small if it even exists. And if it does, it most likely isn't that particularly important thing to exist. Let's just head towards this corridor and... Oh, I came from here. But let's just head down this downward tunnel. Yep, but this water is toxic, full of goop. Alright. Yeah, I actually went through this hole again. Let's try to swim here. There's another pool out. I know it's a radiation hazard. Well, shooting that might have done something useful or necessary. Oh shit. That's got into a real bad situation with this. Yeah, there was an ugly face in there. I wonder, is there any... Avoid that. Where did I came? Oh, I came from here. Dive to this. Very unpleasant thing to be swimming in. Well, here's another tunnel. Okay. I'm in a bit of a loss. I have to do some finding out where the hell am I supposed to be going. See ya soon. I was a damn fool. Right at the beginning of the area with this tunnel and one of these Psy monsters around here. There's that nerve cluttery thing to avoid. So it was very. So there was one in here.
Thought of compassion. Do you think we will sit idly by?
While you corrupt the very womb of our existence.
Well, I think that was one of those clusters. I hope there ain't more of them. Or better say, let's hope I can now get forward again. I'll be cutting again once of this wandering around in guts. Now, as I'm wandering around, yeah, there's this little room surrounded by these little globule things. I don't know, is that even proper word to use about those things? But still surrounded by all those nasty looking stuff.
You seek your associates, but you cannot.
There's some kind of horrible grinding noise coming from the next area. It sounds like chewing. I think I know what's going to happen here. This is some kind of digestive tract of a very, very large animal. Go back and forth between me and terrifying creatures. A remarkable discovery. I wish I could only live long enough to learn more.
Yep. Oh. Is this death? Yes, it was. Lesson learned, don't go into rear ass ends. Oh, I had adjusted the gun to shoot. So beware that water pool. And there's also those big things which are like teeth. Alright.
5 minutes ago, one of those large, burly creatures dragged blood towards the sound of the grinding. Apparently, the animal uses smaller creatures to help move food along its digestive tract. I tried to help Blood in, but it wasn't even a contest. And I'm ashamed to admit, I judged that seeing what happened to her was a vital element of my studies here. I imagine I won't have the opportunity to record any observations when it comes my turn.
Yep, those things crush and they kill. Yeah, using the assault rifle now. At this phase, it's quite almost, you could say, monotonous in sense that you have to now becomes a quite unpleasant, although I wonder can I actually climb those stair looking things. Well, now I know. Oh yes, I can climb these. Oh yeah, got to here. But it seems like I have to do a little bit of climbing and jumping and moving around. Oh. Oh. There you are. Your history. But I wonder is there another? Yes, there's another. Oh, I would say that this is quite unpleasant looking things. Okay. Got to there. Alright, let's try now jumping to the... Oh, not that one. Okay, have I actually opened the proper path? Yes, I did. Just one was enough. Hey! Rumbler! It ain't particularly smart looking thing.
Feel you moving inside of us. The sensation is repulsive.
Besides the parasitic behavior evidenced in the life cycle of human inlet hybrids, it's become clear to me that SHODAN has bred the many to use humans for other purposes. First of all, the many clearly has the capability to convert human flesh to energy. It can eat us, but it can also directly use us in the creation of its egg pods. Corpses are fed into some kind of tubular structure, and eggs are birthed through a nearby tube. I've been unable to determine whether the organism is directly converting the corpses into egg structures or not. But it's clear that there's some connection between the nutrient pool we provide and the eggs that are being produced.
All right. All right. I personally really don't like this kind of level landscape because of, well, it's a kind of well, let's just let that thing get just Oops. Okay, but the Psy organ is quite good to find. That ascent doesn't do most likely get let out anything good or even moderately passable stuff. So that's gonna just disruption grenade rounds. I wonder what they do. They of course they do some.
While I don't understand the annelid life cycle fully, it's clearly extremely diverse. The eggs produce either a male or a female spore. The male, the drones, are wasp-like creatures. The female are worm-like annelids that seek out a host to infect. Following infection, the host begins to transform into a human annelid hybrid. From that point, the life form can take numerous paths. I believe this path is determined by the many itself. The creatures have communicated their need to grow the biomass, so I imagine that biological material is their primary resource. Therefore, each path has costs and benefits. The proto-arachnid is extremely quick and potentially relatively cheap in biomass. The hulking fleshy ones are powerful, but are clearly a larger investment. I've observed only one example of the floating organisms. The only comfort is that the more dangerous organisms are quite costly to produce, limiting their numbers.
Yep. All kind of nasty critters being spawned. I think that would be the translation to non-science to just layman. Okay. Worm skin armor. Quite handy. But yeah, it's handy because it's versatile. It provides lots of stuff and the psionic power boost. But psionic power boost might not be worth it. Let's just go and still go to this big corridor and save it, of course. Couple of grenades to the face solves the problem.
It's clear that this thing I'm trapped inside is intimately linked with all the organisms I observed on board the Von Braun. Strike that. This creature is the same organism. Perhaps the best way to describe it, or perhaps the only way I can comprehend it, is that the organism serves to perform the highest mental functions of the entire species. The smaller creatures exist only to enact its will. Now strike that too. All the specimens act as a whole, like different organs in a single body, with this entity acting primarily as a brain. If one were to destroy this large specimen, I wonder, does it snuff out all the others?
Okay, there was there's a pool of water, a big one, a couple of let's just swim up to the surface And that would most likely be where I'm supposed to be. Not wanting to pick a fight against those things against Reaver and Rumbler. Not so much Rumbler, but Reavers, which is to say those big floaty brain psionic things. They are very dangerous. And here it is, the final boss fight of the game, saving. I will say not the final boss fight, but very much comparable to final boss fight. Big clusters, reavers spinning about, and all kinds of nasty danger, but there's also ability to use the pyro field and invisibility to just blow up the brains of the reavers. And while I at it, also hurt them. Oh yeah, there's quite many of them. I think I did get them all, or at least quite many of them. One reaver down. That one got down, hurt. Alright. I remember that this was a really bloody tough fight. And if you wouldn't be using the invisibility, it would be a really tough fight. But as I have more or less cleaned up all the gunk, I think it might be just a case of or is it? Oh yeah, I have to shoot that big globally thing spinning about. I guess it's just a matter of shooting them. Oh, it's a matter of hitting those things. Yep, now I figured it out. Hit the little spinny thing. and blow it up. And while I'm at it,
Know what you have brought.
yep, and after that, dive in and get through that.
We die. Beware of the machines on Earth. She is a stranger.
She is a stranger to everything we cherish.
So now it's just getting through and forward, flowing downstream. I would say that if the invisibility and the combo of the invisibility and the pyrosphere would not be employed, it would be quite.
Thank you for running my errands, puppet. I know you have
Struggled, but I never had any intention of destroying the Von Braun. The Von Braun's faster-than-light drive can be used to create pockets of proto-reality.
I am now using it to modify reality to my own.
Specifications. The process shall not take long. If it sounds unpleasant to you, put your mind at ease, insect. You will not survive to see my new world order.
Okay, looks like Shodan has her own plans, which are not nice plans. So I think, or maybe she planned to just abandon me after the goal was done. But time to end this episode right here. There seems to be one more little thread hanging. So I'll see you then. See ya.